everybody! Here we are with another episode of Just Drive Cars and Life. Once again, my name is Naveed. We got Cameron here to my left, and lo and behold, we have Hayley here. Oh my God, Hayley, it's good to see you. Anyways, thank you for showing up. Thanks for being here. We are honored to have you here. And this has been really interesting for both me and Cameron because the people that we've been talking to, obviously we've only had one person to interview. However, though, based off of their profiles and their surveys that they've been taking, when we asked them what would be your daily, guess what it is?
A GTR.
GTR. Yeah, no, it is. Honestly, it is a GTR. It's our last host, Omar or Muhammad. He said that he wants a daily GTR. Mm-hmm. Cameron has already said he wants a GTR. You influenced me to get a GTR. And our next guest, Assad, that's going to be here later on, he wants a GTR. So there's just something about this GTR world that we're just like, I guess we got to be part of. Like, there's no way of avoiding it. There's no way of running away from it, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, it's a fantastic car.
It's a great platform.
It's been a great platform. And you've had yours for quite a while. And you've done yours to pretty much up to standard. Or should I say, upgraded the fuck out of
it's
to where...
Getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there, right? So, JDM person all your life.
All my
right?
life.
And you started off with the Acura?
I did, yeah. My very first car was an Acura Integra.
Damn. Jeez. And this was back like in high school, middle school?
In high school, yeah.
What all did you do to it?
So, funny story. My dad always knew that I wanted, a car of my own. I've always wanted to drive. Mm-hmm. I've lived vicariously through his cars, growing up as a kid. Mm-hmm. And Honda just wasn't really on my radar. Mm-hmm. And the guy that I was actually dating at the time through high school was full-on Honda boy. Really? And so he persuaded me to get an Integra.
Okay.
And that was it. And my dad said, if you want a car, go out and buy one yourself. There was no handouts. There was no silver spoon. It was, you want it, work your ass off for it and go and get it. And that's exactly what I did.
Did that in a way pretty much motivate you to say like, hey, if I'm going to go get what I want, I have no other choice but to do it this way. There's no way of saying, hey, I need to do this, I need to do that. Mm-hmm. It's just like, just get to the fucking point, go after it. It is what it is.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Very good. But how come you were not inspired by, other European cars? Like, why not German cars? Why not British cars? Why not Italian cars? Just because it just wasn't in your platform, or like you were like, no, I just want something different?
So, coming from England, I've been very spoiled all my life, surrounded by Euros, surrounded by Italian, surrounded by incredible calibers of cars until I moved to America. So
it was a norm.
Until I moved to America, I didn't realize that, there was a JDM rule or a law, or even for the Euros, the cars aren't even made in Germany, sorry. Right. They are made in America.
Right. Okay. Did that, what was I going to say? I apologize. I'm just thinking on top of my head. Yeah, drink break, whatever you want to call it. I think the fact that you went from Acura, what did you go after Acura? Was it Acura the whole entire time, and then you went to the GTR? Or what steps did you take to get to yourself to the GTR?
Actually, all Nissan family. So I went from the Integra to 240s, and I started drifting my daily, which is a 240 SX.
Okay. Smart decision always.
Very young and immature. Yes, yeah. Very smart. Yeah. And started doing some drift stuff and spent a lot of money on tires and parts and just doing stupid teenager shit. And it was awesome.
Interesting. Okay. I like how like she's just making it super simple, like nothing complicated or anything like that. I think that's really
it happened. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It's like saying, I got the car, drove it, I fucked it up, and blew the engine up. And that was
I did actually blow up my engine. Yes.
Don't jinx me. Please don't jinx
me. Well, the funny story is, like 240s are renowned for losing oil.
Okay.
And so I was drifting and didn't realize that I was losing oil and didn't have any oil. And
Sounds familiar.
Pop goes the weasel.
Anyways, back to square one, or back to square whatever we were on.
37?
37 and a half.
And a
0.5.
and a quarter.
0.5.
There you go.
0.5.
0.5.
Yes.
0.05 or just 0.5?
To be decided.
To be determined.
To be decided, determined,
Determined,
evaluated.
decided. Words.
Okay.
All
So,
right.
how long have you been in the GTR world, though?
GTR World, 6 years.
6 years.
Mhm.
And how has it been the last 6 years? Because I think it's just been, just from talking to you and just like understanding your story, I think currently you're living in your dream GTR world.
100%.
100%.
So I've grown up around 32s, 33s,
Right.
and 34s in England.
Mhm.
I've always admired the GTR on the Skyline platform. Came out here, obviously those weren't available.
Correct.
They're still, well, some of them still aren't available.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I wanted a GTR growing up, and
Right.
I set that goal, and I said before I turn 30, I will own a GTR.
Now, I've been having, I think one of the people is fixing to ask me a question. That's why he's texting me. So, but the next question that I was going to ask you is, you've been competing a shit ton with your GTR, nonstop.
Mhm.
Why?
Why not? If you're going to buy a car, especially a $100,000 car, why not drive the piss out of it? Why not have every ounce of fun that you can extract out of your car?
And you haven't had any issues
I
at all
GTR.
whatsoever.
have been very, very lucky indeed.
Last week, we were actually talking about Jeremy. And I remember you introduced me to Jeremy. You
Brewer?
said- yeah,
At EDI?
absolutely. Yeah. And I just feel like when you have somebody that has that type of a background in the GTR world and how you're performing with your car, if you have any issues, you just go to him or you go to Tony with T1, correct?
Yeah, so there's a little bit of both. So Tony Palo and the guys at T1 Race Development
Mhm.
are the ones that did the build. And it's a
Mhm.
series 2.5, so
Mhm.
it's an E85 FBO car.
Right.
I did daily the car before I did the build. So for about 2.5 to 3 years, it was my daily driver.
Mhm.
I had no issues whatsoever as a
Mhm.
daily driver stock.
Okay.
And then dropped it off at T1 and picked her up. And that's when I did get a daily driver,
Mhm.
less wear and tear on the car.
Correct.
And from there, they pretty much do anything mechanical wise.
Mhm.
So if I need anything mechanical, I go to T1.
Mhm.
For example, if any of the internals were changed, my tune is always done by Tony.
Okay.
And then in terms of track life, I am sponsored by EDI, so Jeremy Brewer. So for example, all the aero, all the APR performance stuff has been put on by Jeremy and EDI. When I do my oil changes, when I need to prep for the track, EDI performance is my go-to.
So shout out to Jeremy once again. So I even just meeting with the guy, I knew I had the confidence that he has is
He's
just what
awesome.
makes you gravitate towards him. And he has an
Yeah.
Aston Martin.
He does, yeah.
He like it's just crazy to me to see that. Okay, well he owns an Aston, right? And you don't like Astons. You hate Astons with a
I
passion.
don't hate them. They just, certain ones don't do it for me.
Well, as English, I mean, of course, there's some heritage and respect for that Aston.
So
They drive great.
you just screwed it up.
They're cool.
You just completely screwed it
Oh,
up.
it's not my fault they break, okay?
Like any other car, okay.
Like any other car.
So it's the
okay.
GTR that's not broken.
Because you've known,
6 years.
I've already told people that, hey, I want the 2005 Aston Martin Vanquish because of Pierce Brosnan and Die Another Day. And the whole entire story to where I saw the car, the car model and everything. And I got destroyed by my cat, at my own, room. So
It was painful to hear.
it was very painful. The front bumper came off. It was
Oh.
just like, wow. I was like, imagine if that was a real car and a cat did that.
Oh.
Is that even possible?
Maybe you should take your lion back to the zoo. Why are you buying exotic cats right now?
Oh my gosh. But yeah, the GTR world, I mean, it's such a unique atmosphere. It's such a unique environment. And I think everybody can absolutely 100% relate to this. Paul Walker is a prime influencer of getting the GTR, from the R34 specifically, and then obviously the R35. And I guess people just want to be towards it. You know, they just want to be part of that. I don't know if that's how you feel, but like for me, for sure, like one reason why I would love to get the GTR is just because of the Paul Walker.
Yeah.
The whole entire story. Now, if I get my hands on an R34, then, you know, I wouldn't even be here right now. So, you know, I think, in my opinion, I think the R34 is a great looking Skyline.
It's a stunning car.
It's such a stunning car. The fact that it's like a box shape and it's a two-door and it's a long two-door, you're just like...
It's just a stunner.
Absolutely.
It's eclectic.
Absolutely. And I was talking to one of the guys on the cruise, I think it was like 2-3 weeks ago. I think you know him. His name is Frank, if I'm not mistaken. He has an R32 or R33 that's getting built.
Okay.
And he's got a BMW M6, believe it or not. So he has a V10, right? And he actually imports. He's in the importing-exporting business.
Fantastic.
Of Japanese cars. Yeah. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember you talking about.
Yeah, and he was talking about he wants to get his hand on an R34 badly. He wants to buy an R34 and bring it here, and I think all of us.
Same with everybody else right now.
Shit. And then like prices, like they're going over, you know, $200,000, $250,000 for an R34.
Mm-hmm.
And let me ask you, is it worth to spend that kind of money on that type of car?
Me personally, I don't have that kind of money to spend on any car, whether it's a 34 or not. So it's a non-issue. I personally would not spend that amount of much money on a Nissan.
Right.
I mean, I love my Nissan.
But if it was a reasonable price, anybody would go buy it, right? Like here's the thing, even if I had $250,000 in my pocket, I would not pay that kind of money for R34. It's just not going to happen.
No, it's the market. It's the American market and the American government that's, you know, made it what it is. If you put something on a pedestal and if you tell someone you can't have it.
Because you don't see the Mini Coopers out here, the old school small little Mini Coopers.
There's a few here.
Well, hard to find, right?
No, there's a few here.
I don't think you're paying attention.
Yeah, there've been quite a few.
Maybe like
actually.
2 or 3, unless I've just had bad timing of not seeing them.
There's been quite a few.
Really?
Yeah, old Metro Minis.
But when were they out of the ban? Like, when was the ban lifted from them? Because they were on a 25-year ban.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's not a ban. It's just a 25-year law.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, they've been free to come in for quite some time. They're just not a very popular vehicle. I mean, there's a select market with a Mini Cooper.
Especially if you find the Mr. Bean edition.
Oh, my gosh.
Hello.
Oh, my God.
Does that make you old or does that make you young talking about Mr. Bean?
I grew up on Mr. Bean every Christmas.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Mr. Bean. Oh, well. But anyways, going back to the GTR world or your world, where do you think the GTR industry is going to be in the next like 5 or 10 years?
It's going to explode.
It's going to explode.
The 34 alone is going to just make that world explode. We're going to see a different caliber of ownership in the GTR and Skyline world. Mm-hmm. It's going to bring a lot of different people, maybe from supercar exotic side of the world, into the GTR platform. Here's
a fair question. Should the GTR still be labeled as an exotic car, and why?
The 35, yes, just, you know, price point, it is an exotic or a supercar. The 34, I think, is more of an enthusiast or a sports car.
Or a tuner car.
Yeah, a tuner car, that'd be good.
Car, yeah. Same thing with the R33s and the R32s?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I love the 32s, 33s, and I love all of them equally.
Have you heard anything about the R36s coming out?
I've seen or heard and watched a few things, but nothing's... it's like the Supra, you know, nothing's official until it comes out, and then. That's fair.
Yeah. And have you seen concepts of it or what it could potentially look like?
Not impressed so far.
Not impressed. Why is that?
It just looks too boxy. It doesn't look very classic, or it doesn't look like it has a lot of the heritage from the Skyline background.
Okay.
Which I really appreciate. Not a fan so far, but we'll see. It could change. It was the same with the Supra, so.
That's fair.
What do you think about the Supras coming with the 2.0 turbo?
Next topic.
Damn. Okay. Let's keep it Toyota, but another topic then. Where'd the Sora come from?
You hate the Supras, don't you?
I'm not a fan of the new Supras. However, I did actually drive the new Supra. Trayvon let me drive his Supra, and I was actually impressed.
I'm not laughing at Trayvon, by the way. I'm just laughing.
That's
just
not what I saw.
Like,
I saw a straight laugh
straight at him to his face. He was there.
Oh my
God. Did it.
I ruined it. I'm sorry. God, I highly
Soiled
apologize.
it.
Oh my god.
They drive great. In fact, I would love to rag the shit out of one on the track. Not gonna lie.
It's a BMW, so that makes sense.
It's
Would
just
you
not a
wide body
Supra.
it?
I wouldn't buy a Supra. The new Supra. Period.
That's kind of painful. I considered that.
What
over
Supra
mine.
would you buy then? The MK4s, MK3s?
Mach 4s, Mach 3s, yeah.
What would you do with the Mach 4?
Yes.
Just yes. She owns a Soar.
Yes.
She owns a Soar.
It's always been a dream to blitz a Supra.
Yeah.
Just do blitz everything on a Supra. A Mach 4 would be the dream.
Go out. Balls to the walls.
It would be a showstopper.
I would if I could find one that I'd
Yeah.
like.
In some grandma's
Right,
garage.
right-hand drive? Manual?
It doesn't matter to me. I just
an
want a
MK4 is
Supra.
an MK. Okay.
I really just want a Supra.
Whatever engine it has, whatever.
I'd like a twin turbo with obviously a manual, but
We all.
So,
you know.
so the 2JZ GTE or the.
Mhm.
Yes.
I mean, there's really
I
no
feel
other
that.
way to go.
I feel that. There's no other way.
So wait a minute, a regular 2JZ just won't do it for you?
Mm.
Next topic.
She just wanted a regular 2JZ. She'd go get an IS300 or some shit.
I had an IS. I'm a Toyota Lexus girl.
That's
like
fair.
at heart, at the beginning of things, before Nissan came along, I've always been a Toyota diehard fan.
Okay.
So Toyota by fate or Toyota by heart? Like you
Toyota
said?
by heart,
So Toyota by heart, Nissan by fate?
absolutely. Yep,
That's fair.
100%.
I say that about my Mercedes and BMW. BMW is by fate, Mercedes by heart.
That hurts. That
No
hurts.
joke.
That
No
hurts.
joke.
I
Why-
grew up in
why?
a Supra. Like I grew up changing head gaskets on a Mach 3 like almost every weekend.
Here's a
So-
fair question. So if you're passionate about working on your car or working on any car that is in the JDM, how come you didn't decide to pursue your own shop or your own performance? Or
That's a good question.
I let the experts do that. I'd rather go to the experts like EDI and
Uh-huh.
T1 and pay them for their knowledge. And I just like to drive the piss out of my car.
so you're just one of those, say, I want this, this, and this, and done. How much? Get it done. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
I like to learn too. Like
Okay.
Jeremy at EDI actually lets me go down and like I've done my own brakes. I've
Uh-huh.
done a few things. I learned
Okay.
how to put the APR stuff on my car. I put the
Mhm.
wing on. You know, I like to learn.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely not a gap there at all. I
Okay.
just really like to drive. That's my passion.
Nonstop. And you've been to a couple of my cruises.
Oh yeah.
Okay, what do you like about the cruises?
Oh, it's great. It's well organized. It's well maintained. It's great communication. Awesome stops on and off the cruise. It's just a great
Does
atmosphere.
that jump still bring you back good memories?
I know.
Back to that story. So yeah, so we were driving from Royce City to Terrell, and we're on this bridge. And at the end of the bridge, none of us saw this bump. I mean, was it a bump?
Was
or
it a bump or was it like a
It was-
fucking hill?
It was like a hill, pretty much. Yeah.
The shortest hill
And-
you've ever seen.
And the thing is that my car was going in limp mode that day. It was
Yeah.
time for me to change my throttle bodies, and my car kept on going in limp mode. And I kept on telling Tom, I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't like drive the crap out of my car.
can't do this anymore. Done with your shit.
So, anyways, we get to a point where everybody wants to just fly.
Yep.
So all I know is
But the wings
Tom gets around me, Hayley's behind me, and Tom is accelerating. Okay? Accelerating.
I was too. You weren't?
No, I couldn't.
I was
I'm
excited.
so sorry.
I couldn't.
I'm sorry.
I couldn't because my car was going to go into limp mode. Right? And Audrey was in the car with you too, right?
Yeah.
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 So, anyways, bro, all I see is this bump, and I see Tom not stopping. Okay, Tom is not stopping, and I think Hayley recognizes that, or we all recognize it.
Mm.
And all I see is whoop, boom, but no scrapes, no flares, no nothing. And I get on the radio, like you said,
Yeah.
Tom just flew. Tom,
Plain simple doesn't say a single thing after that.
Tom just flew, guys.
Yeah.
I saw underneath his car.
I
Yeah.
believe
All
I can fly.
Yes, literally. We get to the light. I'm like, Tom, are you okay? I literally told Tom, I was like, Tom, you have no idea how nervous I was for you.
I believe Tom can take the sky.
Tom gets back on the radio. He's like, yeah, I already knew it was too late, so I said, fuck it.
Full send, bro. Full send.
Yeah,
What suspension does he have? I want that suspension on my car.
whatever it is.
Like, what
The car has over 1,100 horsepower. Does that make sense? And when you said it flying
downtuned,
like
downtuned.
that, whatever it is, like
That's ridiculous.
gosh. So we pull over. We finally get to Terrell. We all pull over at the Buc-ee's. I think about it every night and day. I literally told Tom, I was like, Tom, you can easily tell anybody that you have the capability of flying your car. And he was like, yeah, that should be a good story. But you know what's so funny? He came back and said, well, I really don't know what the big deal is.
We park, he gets out of the car. I just pull up, get out of my car, and he just kind of walks over and is like, I don't really know what the big deal is, guys.
I don't know what the big deal is, but...
I honestly still don't know what the big deal is. Just fucking mash and go.
Yeah, but you said you scraped the shit out of
I
yours.
sparked, and it was fantastic.
She enjoed it.
I was like, that was a compliment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Limp mode over here.
Anyways, so we understand that COTA is like your all-time favorite experience.
It's a dream come true.
Why is that?
Well, number one, it's a Formula One racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
I've been out there, I've flagged out there, I've marshaled out there, I've taught out there, and then until very recently, I had not driven out there. And I just did my second stint on COTA, and it was indescribable. It's the most incredible feeling to drive your dream, and not just drive it, but really drive it.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible. Indescribable.
So, just the whole entire process of getting your car prepped,
Mm-hmm.
walking the track, talking to the track owner, talking with the other drivers, just that whole entire thing it's like the Super Bowl. It's like the World Cup final. Yeah, exactly.
It's incredible.
So every single time when you go through it, does time go by quick or does time slow down for you?
It goes by very quickly. Yeah, it's
really.
It's. I mean, always the build up is the build up to the track and the prep, and changing fluids and brakes and tires and making sure that everything's good and nothing's gonna fail when you're out there. It goes by very slowly, and then towards the end, it's like, oh shit, it's track weekend. Here we go.
Wow.
And
okay.
I was actually saying this at my last track event. I am so lucky to have a car that I drive to COTA, 3.5 to 4 hours. I drive it the whole entire weekend on the track. And then I drive her home 3.5 to 4 hours. I don't trailer it. I don't baby it.
Why?
Why not? But I was just thinking about how lucky am I to have this car that drives to and from the track.
I mean, to have the capability is one thing.
It's just incredible.
There are people out there that say, no, I will not daily all the way there.
Fine.
And that's absolutely fine. But, people are always just curious. Like, the fact that, like, for instance, for my BMW, I bought it with 108,000 miles, and right now it's got 143,000 miles on it. I put close to, 33,000 miles on it in the last, 2 years. And they're like, Naveed, you shouldn't be doing that. And I'm like, why? They're
why
like,
not?
They're like, because, you'll never find it again, or, this is such a unique car, or you've invested way too much money in it. And I'm like, exactly. I was like, I've invested way too much money in it, and I want to drive the shit out of it.
Absolutely.
I didn't buy this car for it to sit in the garage and do absolutely nothing. You know what I mean?
I don't understand that mentality.
Especially for me, it's like my first personal sports car that I've ever truly owned for more than 6 months. Before that, it was like the Mustang, GT California Special. It was a Jaguar XJR. I had the Subaru WRX. When I had my dealership with my dad, I drove every sports car that you can think about. Does that make sense? But with this one, with me personally owning it, it's just it sits somewhere else. You know what I mean? It's just well, why not do I want to make it sound like this? Why not do I want to not drive it like this or anything like that? Just the sound of the engine. I've been in your car. And it scares the shit out of me.
It's obnoxious.
It's obnoxious.
Just a little bit.
It's obnoxious, especially when you're changing gears at 7,000 to 8,000 RPM on that car, and it's like a bang every single time.
You should hear it at COTA down the main stretch.
Well, not only that, just if you're in the car with her and she's shifting gears, you hear that hesitation and shifting, but it's so much boost or something's going in, and it's like this loud sonic boom. Seriously, it's like this sonic boom, and I can't even get that out of my car. Does that make sense? But
I turned mine off.
Well, yeah, you had to turn it off. Did he tell you what happened to him?
No.
So So last week he got his secondary cats and his resonator removed out of his M4. So he pops, right?
Uh-huh.
And he just purchased a MHD tune, and he just flashed his car. So now he has a GTS tune on his M4, and he was popping like a motherfucker that the neighbors called the cops on him.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
It was popping that bad, but it was continuously all the way down the
Rapid
street.
fire.
Rapid fire all the way down the street.
So it sounds like gunshots is what you're trying to say.
Literally.
Yes. And so that's what happened. The cops were like, someone said there were gunshots. I was like, no. Wasn't it?
Mine doesn't sound like gunshots.
Yeah, yours is just one pop,
loud.
2 pops. Yeah, mine was that at your volume. Twin turbos. Fun stuff.
Fun stuff, not fun stuff, whatever you want to call it. But Jesus, like, here's the thing with me: popping is one thing, but what really gravitates me for an engine sound, I apologize for that.
How dare you?
I think the fact that a sound of an engine is 10 times better than popping is what gravitates you more.
I'm not a fan of pops and bangs personally.
Right.
Not really either. That's why I turned it off.
When I went to Import Face Race Wars. Was it Race Wars or Race Wars a couple months back? I don't know. Were you there by any chance at Race Wars?
Probably.
Yeah, when we all went to the track.
Haley wasn't there.
I wasn't with you guys. I don't.
Wasn't with us, but
she wasn't there. No. You were not there. I think you went to Import Face Off. I don't think you went to Race Wars.
That's right.
That's right. You thought about coming. Maybe that was the thing. Anyways.
It happens every once in a while when you think about things.
When you think about things?
When do you think about things?
When do you not think about things?
I have to think about that.
Can we stay on topic?
I thought we were.
we are the topic. What do you mean?
Oh, gosh. Anyways.
Naveed is such a control freak.
I know.
Is that a problem?
I don't give a shit. Do what you want.
It can be.
Why is it a problem?
Try instructing and be a control freak.
But that's your decision, though.
It's definitely
You
something
don't have
to
to
get
do
me
that.
over that. I am a control freak. I'm laughing because I am a control freak, and then when you're instructing and somebody else
She's
is
laughing,
driving
so you're saying you're
and
not
you're
patient.
coaching,
Yeah.
it's something that you
Mm-hmm.
get
Something
over.
that you think about.
Something you think. Like,
Yes.
yes.
Shucks. Shucks. The next. So,
Oh, shucks.
anyways. Damn it, Kimber! Why do you do this? to
You're
me, man?
so welcome.
I'm so offended right now.
Let's go back to the topic that you had. Like you were talking about. I like how I'm driving now. Let's go back to the topic that you were
She was
talking
control
about.
freak.
She was waiting for this.
About how like you said you drove a lot of cars in the dealership. I relate to that because I drove so many cars. I changed cars like underwear until the GTR. The
Why
GTR.
like underwear though? Why not donuts or
I don't like
glasses?
He wears his underwear for weeks at a time, so.
Yeah.
I don't like donuts.
Sorry I spoiled that. Yo. Shh. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, the GTR is the longest car that I've ever
Do you
owned.
see how positive we are right now?
Absolutely. We're happy.
I'm just trying to drive this
I mean,
on track.
Yeah, I know. Right?
You like that? You like the
yeah.
innuendo? Okay.
Yeah, the control
subtle
freak.
tones.
Was that an innuendo? You like that innuendo right there?
Anyways, okay, no, this is
Slid
actually,
in
we've
there.
never had. Okay, so we actually want people to ask us questions too. Like we have no problem with that. So, anyways,
We
in
do.
regards to
Oh,
the
I
whole
wasn't asking you a
dealership,
question. I was relating to the fact that you changed cars all the time. I did too until the GTR. Oops, sorry.
I'm probably going to until a GTR, so it's fine.
it's all good.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing though. Why do you think a lot of us are gravitating towards the GTR though?
Probably because you see me having a
'Cause
shit
you
ball
can
of fun out
beat
there.
the shit out of it and do the same thing you can in any other car. And
Yeah.
then some.
Because
I'm
every
actually
single,
going to correct that.
Okay.
I don't think you can beat the piss out of a GTR. I think you do have to be very careful about your build.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, you have to be very respectful of the platform. I don't think
Yeah.
you can just do whatever you want to the car willy-nilly and then expect it to perform.
Well, yeah, not
But
saying
I
really
think,
nilly,
well,
but
in
once you
regards-
build it, you can
Yeah.
do what you wanted to do with it without it snapping or losing oil or making cylinder 5 and 6 not work anymore.
I mean, if you go out to the drag strip, there's a couple people that I'm sure would disagree on
That's
some
fair.
pretty big builds.
That's fair.
in terms of what though, just a build by itself or the capability of the engine? by
Like if you
itself?
watch GTR World Cup,
Mhm.
I mean, you saw that Mac had a unforeseen accident out there. You'll see people that you know, accidents happen.
The unexpected
things happen.
is going to happen,
Sure,
obviously.
sure.
But, well, then here's a fair question. Let me ask you this.
Hmm.
You've built your GTR, right?
T1 build, yep.
Okay, T1 build. What's the horsepower on it?
I think it was 660.
660, all of it to the wheel?
Mhm.
Okay, so since you're built, how many times has it gone to the shop?
Never. Because
Okay.
of the shop choice,
But,
I
okay,
believe.
okay, so
Probably.
here's the thing. We have BMWs. We've built our cars. My
Mhm.
car has been in the shop more than 4 times.
How many shops have you been to?
I've been
That's also
to
fair.
I've been to my own shop.
How
I've
many
been to my
shops
own
have you been to? Did you go to the back to the same person that did all the install?
Some of the installs I did on my own. Okay, but
There's
those
a
installs.
problem.
But no. In all seriousness,
I'm kidding.
in all seriousness,
Yeah.
the installs that I've done on my own are the ones that I was confident in that I was not going to have any issues. Anything
Yeah.
that I knew that I was going to have an issue with, I'm like, you guys take care of it. But in generally speaking, what I'm trying to say is that I'm not going to be as confident in a BMW that I've been confident in a GTR because of the how do I want to say it? Not high reliability. It would be low. How would you word reliability?
You just did.
My car. So our BMWs are not high. They are high in reliability, or
They're
low
not
in
renowned
reliability?
to be reliable.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. Thank you for correcting.
Prone to falling apart at some
Prone to falling apart.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, low maintenance issue.
Mhm.
BMW.
There you go.
BMW are not known to have low maintenance issues.
Mhm.
Okay.
They're known to have high
I
BMW
concur.
maintenance issues, right? But with the GTRs, you have low maintenance issues.
But you pay a lot of money. You pay the GTR tax for those maintenance.
Right. But the thing is that
The M5 is the same price.
So how much do you pay for an oil change?
close to 150, 160.
How much do you pay for a transmission oil change?
Probably, I think the last time I paid, I did rear differential and oil and transmission fluid all at the same time. Came out to $520, $530. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like $2,500 for a GTR.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it really?
Yeah.
Well,
so
their
when you go
transmission
to-
is different than mine. That's why.
When you go to Nissan, the techs
Yeah.
that are at Nissan
Mhm.
are fully GTR trained.
Yeah.
Oh,
There are different
okay.
caliber of
See, I didn't know
technician.
that.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
You pay the
their-
GTR tax.
Her platform is totally different than mine. Mine has a simple transmission. Her transmission is like an arm and a leg, but on steroids. Or that's on the amount of technology that is
It's a
in
Formula
her
One-based
transmission.
transmission.
Yeah. The amount of
Amazing.
technology that's in her transmission is 10 times better than what's in mine.
That's fair.
Mine is a transmission with an SMG unit that costs $10,000 for no fucking reason. And I still can't understand why they try to make an SMG single clutch transmission for my car when all the M3s with the V8s that have the same engine as me,
Mm-hmm.
I only have 2 more cylinders and they have a DCT. And the only M5 E60, this is a true fact, that has a true DCT transmission is the very first prototype that BMW made. And it's not for sale. And it's a show car. And I have no idea why, till this day, they then came back and said we should stick with DCT. So what? So what if it's for the money? I don't think it's for the money. I think it's job security. And here's the reason
all about
why.
ROI and money.
Well,
It's ROI.
ROI, whatever.
It'd be a lost cause. They won't make the money on it.
You don't think so?
I
No.
don't think so. I don't think the car did well enough.
Think about
In
all
the
the cars
day.
that go into production that don't make money. They just do it to say they've done it, and then they sell a certain amount of type, or it's not a certain amount, and then that's it.
And
They
then
call it a
stop.
day.
They're done. That's
Yeah,
the end
but
of
see,
that car.
GTR has not been like that, though. GTR's been like, no, we're going to sell and we're going to continue
It's their
to sell.
poster child. They
Well,
can't
no
afford to do
shit,
that.
it's their poster
Yeah,
child.
well, I mean, like,
honestly. Yeah.
don't look at me.
It's common sense. It's
Yeah.
common sense for a
Yeah.
platform like that is successful, right? Even though they've had like their fair shares in the first like 4 or 5 years of how they've made their cars, but they finally pulled their head out of their asses because they're like, okay, if people are going to be paying over $100,000, $120,000, $130,000 brand new,
Mm-hmm.
right? A 6-figure car, a 7-figure car. They're like, well, we need to make this right because if we don't, we're going to go down to shit.
But it did happen. It did
Of
went
course,
down to
it
shit.
did went down to shit.
Can you imagine buying a GTR, being on a wait list for a GTR #1,
Mhm.
and then buying a GTR over sticker price, and then
Mhm.
being told, don't launch your GTR, it will void your warranty.
Those were all for the 2010 models, correct?
Can you imagine being told that?
Yeah. Which is what Jeremy was telling us. Jeremy was like, he said, if you want to get like a GTR between 2009 through 2012 or whatever, he said, get the 2010 model. It's like, why? Because none of them came with the launch control.
Yeah. I would personally go for a 2014 and up.
Correct. Obviously, for obvious reasons. But, you know, if somebody doesn't have like that type of money to go higher in that type, and they'd rather just deal with it or suck it up and just say, okay, I'm going to take that risk, that's on them as well. If it works out for them, great. If it doesn't work out for them, it's not the end of the world.
If you're going to rip the car apart anyway, send your transmission off to Shep and, you know, do all the kind of the drag stuff and rip it apart, and it's a shell, it makes sense to go for a lower, you know,
absolutely.
model style.
No doubt. Absolutely no doubt. But I think I'm going to have to go with you. Like, hey, 2014, 2015 and up, find yourself a GTR. I mean, the less miles, the better. But, you know, I think anywhere between 50 to 60 or 70,000 miles, highest 70,000 miles, I think you'll still be okay in terms of still trying to upgrade it the way they wanted to, build it the way they wanted to.
You can even find some built that are out there for sale right now.
Yeah, but I think some of the builds that they've had, I think the amount of money that they're asking for it is way too much as well. There's one at Louisville Autoplex right now. It's a blue one. You know which one I'm talking about?
That's the Boost Logic GTR. That's a beast.
It's $160,000.
It's also high horsepower car.
No shit.
It's not like a 600,000, you know, a 600 brake horsepower car.
It's
this
not.
Is serious.
And when I saw it, I was like,
yeah, it's a full-on built.
Yes.
I mean, you send that down the drag strip, kind of a car. Yeah, it's a serious car.
And it's an impressive build too. I'm just like, damn it, I don't have $160,000. Like, it's just not going to work out. But
let's sell the house. Let's just sell my house and my car and your car, and let's just go buy it together.
no,
Okay.
You can live in the GTR
Your loss.
together.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
There's
we
two
could
seats.
yeah, but I want to own the car.
Yeah, but sorry.
A lot of people do that. They'll co-own cars.
Really?
Oh yeah, in the supercar and exotic community, absolutely. A lot of guys do that. How do you think they have Ferraris, Porsches, Lamborghinis, multiple models of vehicles?
Yep. Don't tempt him.
Quite
He's gonna
common.
think about it.
We're going to Tactical Fleet tomorrow morning.
Are you serious? I'm down for that. I can go with that. I'm just driving it every day, but we can go down there together.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's like, whatever.
Just buy a GTR and call it a day.
Let's buy 2 GTRs.
I'm just like mind-boggled.
a package deal.
I'm just mind-boggled by what both of you just said right now. So this is good stuff.
You actually didn't know that?
No, I didn't know
It's
that.
quite common in the community.
Well, I mean,
it's hush
I just
hush.
assumed
that's
you
because
knew.
that's because I have self-respect. You know, I don't want to get a car with somebody, especially with a punk-ass kid like you.
Why would I immediately be in line for this?
I don't know. You just sound so confident.
Because I am.
Well, and I have to wipe it too.
I considered buying one. I still am thinking about going down the street and buying one right now.
Anyways, Hayley, do you have any questions for us?
No, I think I know you guys pretty well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why do you look at me like that? What the fuck is that?
Because you're the giggly one.
That's his nickname. I call him Giggles. Everyone's like, why'd you call him Giggles? I'm like, wait. There it is.
There it is.
Whoop, there it is. Oh my gosh.
There it is.
But no, in all honesty, when we know, like me and Cameron, we just already knew that, hey, when Hayley shows up, we could probably talk for 2-3 more hours just about GTRs. And we're already at 42 minutes into it, and I feel like we haven't been halfway done.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface about what I actually do with my car.
Exactly. You know, I mean, we can still keep going. We still have a little bit more time.
Come back next week for part 2, kids.
Should we? Should we make a
Yes! Yes!
Would you be down?
Let's cut it out.
I'm okay with this.
That gives us content.
I mean, if that's what you want.
I'm shameless.
Of course. No,
I'm
we
shameless.
definitely need more content. No, in all honesty, though, like, I think right now everybody's just getting the generic or the basic understanding of what the GTR is, especially from this episode. But I think we should definitely have another episode and we get into details of the GTR.
Okay.
You know, I think that's going to be fair.
Actually, we should also have another episode about Toyotas since you love Toyotas so much.
I do.
Because I want to hear about Toyotas. I really don't know.
If there's one thing, a lot of people are going to start coming to you and asking about the GTRs and the Toyota world.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody wants to know about the GTRs, you know,
that's who you go to.
we got Hayley right here. So, Other than that, though, thank you so much for coming here. Thank you so much for being with us. I hope you had a good time.
Can I give you guys my gifts for your listeners?
We don't take tips.
Oh, it wasn't a tip.
It wasn't for us to begin with.
Just to clarify, the gifts that I brought are not for you.
We don't take donations. We don't take...
Do you take driving tips by chance?
You need some.
As long as you're not a control freak.
No, I am a control freak.
I'm sorry for both of your lives.
Okay, anyway, so the gifts that I brought for your listeners.
Wonderful.
I brought an APR Performance sticker. Ooh. Here, let me get this closer to the camera. There we go. APR Performance sticker. So APR did all of my aero. So huge plug to them.
Wonderful.
Another sticker. Pagan Racing.
Thank you very much.
That's okay.
What'd you say?
I said pageant racing.
Pageant? Stay tuned for the next podcast of when we do pageant racing at Coton.
No, wait, actually.
Make sure you look really pretty for that one, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's deadass do that. I like that idea.
Anywho, Pagan Racing. They do my brakes. 10 out of 10 recommend.
This is how we know we're not in the GTR world.
Oh my god.
What do you mean? Those are the most pageant-worthy cars.
Oh, I know this company.
No.
I brought some M2 Luxuries plush.
Shout out to Mo with M2 Luxuries. Thank you for having us. And believe it or not, Mo actually drives a GTR.
He does. It's currently for sale right now, actually.
That is true. That is true. And he almost intrigued me on making an offer for his, but unfortunately, with my current situation and COVID, I can't. However, though, I
said, wait, what is it?
I'm not telling you.
Does he have COVID?
What?
Shit,
Me?
should we be wearing masks?
Probably.
No, I don't have COVID. Jesus Christ. Anyways, no, this is because, I'm not employed because of COVID. But anyways, let's move on from that subject. But in all honesty, Mo, I've known Mo for almost a year and a couple months, and he's great people. I love his products. It's one of probably the greatest products out there. It's simple to use, easy to use, and the fact that he's making products better than what they used to be before is what makes you gravitate towards him. So once again, shout out to Mo and M2 Luxuries. So
yeah, I brought some plush for you guys. That's some detailer.
So excited to use that one, obviously.
And then Pagan Racing makes these cute little notepads.
Pageant racing.
Pageant racing.
Pageant racing.
Pagan Racing.
Pageant racing.
So I brought you guys a little notepad, and then I brought a T-shirt that was given to me by Park Up Front.
Ooh, you got a T-shirt. I don't have a T-shirt. That's not what I have a T-shirt. Where's my T-shirt?
Again, this is not for these guys. This is for you guys. But I brought a Crown Royal T-shirt. Thanks, Park Up Front.
We will be doing a giveaway, guys. So it's going to be $150 per giveaway. No, I'm just kidding.
Is that how you fix the M5?
Bro. Okay.
No, these gifts are not for sale.
We definitely have to bring that up for a different subject or for a different topic for sure.
There we go. I'm just going to kind of put these on display for all listeners.
Anyways, and
we really didn't talk much about my car.
We hit the sweet spots.
The sweet spots?
Of dancing around it.
Well, like I said, and I think it's because we have to do another episode.
Okay.
We probably need like 4 or 5 with you specifically.
Oh my.
I honestly, I think so. Because here's the thing. I'm
too much.
You're too much.
I'm too much.
You're a control freak, so that's too much.
I'm an admitted control freak, and that's okay.
No, here's the reason why, and this is the reason why. I think it's because, one, your level of knowledge is not enough for 45 minutes or an hour. Think about it. It's like if you start talking to BMWs with us, we can go hours about it. And you're in that same category. And this is respect. Does that make sense? This is why we want you to come back. So obviously, because we need to understand more. We need to understand what the hell we're going to get into in terms of the GTR world. And I have high respect for you. And
he's so sweet.
I think it was a blessing to get to know who you are and what your background is and how you elevated yourself from where you started, where you are now, and where you're going with it. I think we need to have more episodes to come. So, absolutely. Other than that, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
An honor
it was fun.
You. So once again, my name is Naveed. We got Cameron. We got Hayley. thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah.
And thanks all for having us, guys.
See you guys
See
next
you guys
time.
later. Take care.
See you next time. Love you too.